very different.
Well, when you guys have dinner with Mark Cherry, why don't you say, hey, Mark,
We have, because here's the thing. When I go run at night, I go run in a high-end cul-de-sac type thing. I call it a horseshoe because it's about not quite half a mile, but it's a long U-turn horseshoe thing. Mark Cherry lives right over here. Another writer lives across the street. It must be entertainer's heaven. Gorgeous big houses. I have run into him countless times. And one time, not that long ago, he called out to me, Joan, is that you? And he came up to me and talked to me. And we talked for about 15 minutes. I turned off I wear a pedometer to see that I'm doing 10 miles or whatever I'm doing. Turned off the pedometer and we chatted for about 15 minutes. And I said, Mark, you are such a gifted, he writes for women, like you, obviously. His resume is heavy with women ensemble shows. I said, it's a fantasy of mine, but since we're chatting, Joan, Donna, and Michelle, we need to do something different, something special, something funny. We three need to show, we need to bring in the funny. And we got chatting and he said, well, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm working on a show now with 3 generations. I don't know if he said 2 or 3, but the grannies, the children of the grannies who are old enough to have their own children. So it's 3 generations. And he said, I'm kind of thinking about something like this. I'm writing it now. Then segue to June. This happened maybe at the end of April. In June, suddenly a show of his coming out of New York. I can't remember what the name, it's a new, well, it wasn't new, it's been 2 or 3 years, but they suddenly canceled it. I think it was CBS, I'm not sure, or maybe it was ABC. Bottom line is they canceled it suddenly and just decided at the last minute during this past summer, bye-bye. And he had to scoot back to New York, disassemble everything and get it out of the office. Because when they say, I'm afraid this isn't going to work out anymore, then you have to move fast because somebody else is moving in. And he came back home and his whole development and everything was a bit recalibrated. So he didn't bring this up at the dinner, but we did keep the talk that we did at the end of April, and we just had it a couple, 3-4 weeks ago. And we're now next going to Soho House out in Malibu, which is a very incredible dinner club, maybe.
Yeah.
But everybody there is a who's who. Mark wants to go there with us. So that is upcoming. I just think he'd be perfect for us because he does write women's shows. And I just wish it was a rest home and we're 3 grannies from hell. I swear to God, doing, mirth and being, devils, little, whatever, villains, but also pathos, because when the kids come visit or whatever, there'll be the heart. So the thing that he does well, which is yin yang, Mark Cherry and Joan, Donna, and Michelle sounds good to me.
Do you see how quiet I am? I'm like already picturing the show. I'm picturing like the.
Well, do you think it's, well, I'd like to ask you, because you're aware for all this stuff. What is a complete flip on Joan, Donna, and Michelle as we know them previously? What would be turn it on its ear, in your opinion? Am I right with the rest home or?
Yeah, and I think like terrorizing and
terrorizing.
And
like
I think
3 little kids. I'm sorry, but 3 little kids were grannies.
Or, maybe if you say it's about turning it on its head, maybe have Donna be the quiet, the opposite of Abby, and you and Michelle are the 2 terrors, and Donna's like
100%.
the one that's like the innocent woman, right?
You scare me because that is exactly, Donna should be flipped to flyover states. Joan and Michelle, quiet. Maybe former socialites, and the husband has had 2 more wives since whatever, but we're still going to stay maintained and over the top a little. That to me in a rest home would be hell on wheels, and I would love hell on wheels, aged, go there and love it and hit it head on. I just, you nailed it.
right? Like that would be, see, listen, let's just get this going, people.
Let's get this going. I know when you come in January, I think we have to have the whole 9 yards. We have to do it. And we
We'll
can tape
call
it
up.
just, maybe we tape it as a pitch.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think, you had a chance also. I mean, a totally self-indulgent part of your career, which I loved, was you and Donna with Sherry Belafonte, Nip Talk. When you were on Nip Talk, that was great.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Oh my God, because there was one thing, yeah, it was Oprah that we ended up doing together, but we were the only two invited actually with Ryan Murphy for Nip Tuck. I adored that. The second one, I don't know. They knew they were being canceled. So I think, God, talk about a genius. What a track record he has, Ryan Murphy. But I think he threw a mitzvah kind of at certain characters or whatever thing, because we came back a second, but it was very different. That first one was and Donna with having all the stuff done, and
the Catwoman. I mean, it was brilliant.
yeah, and when you have as the captain would, i.e. Ryan Murphy, you're safe. You've got freedom. You've got freedom to kind of be different, be special, be a surprise, and hot, ready to really be hot.
See if Mark Cherry can't get it together. I mean, Ryan Murphy has done things like Glee and like Scream Queens. He has that like dark sense of like comedic humor. It could work there.
See, because I think yin yang is the secret. You have to have some pathos with the funny. And the best shows are that. And Knott's often had that there were some, but not, the funny wasn't the kind of tongue in cheek and really out there, was not as broad, but it was there, the funny and the sad.
What was it like when you went back to, very few go from nighttime soaps to daytime, like when you were on Young and Restless? What was that experience like?
Oh, night and day, because it's at Mach speed, and right now it's even more Mach speed. And during COVID, people were doing their scenes with dummies, not even with an acting partner. I could never be looking, I need to be aware of right into the heart and soul of the actor and the character, because if they're doing their work, they're both, and you want to connect with both. So playing to mannequins during the thing, but even when I did Young and Restless, I went in the middle of it back to the Kennedy Center to do something that Sally Field also did. I can't remember, there were wonderful actors that they asked back for a couple of months to do a show at the Kennedy Center as a sort of repertory thing.